We thought that David Ellison, Blue Sky and Paramount were out of the running to bid and buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Oh boy, we was wrong. And if they do buy it, Zaslav and Gunn are definitely out. Really good news. But is David Ellison, Blue Sky and Paramount the answer to DC and DC Studios' problems? This is the studio that's just given Jessica Biel a first look deal. Oh boy, do they hate anyone outside their front fucking doors. It's insane. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Thursday's edition of the DCU Daily. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you love me, you can get more of me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X, which you really do get much more of me, and on Snapchat BMouth60 and on TikTok. What's my name on TikTok again? I'm going mad. I'm hungover. Mad Mickey's World. So let's get into today's show. So Deadline have got an exclusive on the future of Warner Brothers. We thought that David Ellison, Blue Sky and Paramount were out of the running. Now, they seem to be a very, very ambitious studio that's buying everything up and giving some interesting people, let's say, first look deals. The Jessica Biel thing is beyond me. That won't excite anyone. Now, is any studio out there today the answer to DC's problems? No. Every company, every studio, every network, every streamer is in league with big tech. They're not the answer to our problems. Our problem is we're not getting great entertainment anymore because the people running the fucking studios, streamers and networks don't understand the game they're in. It's like working in a fucking donut factory and not knowing how to make fucking donuts and putting cement in the fucking donuts instead of yummy cream and jam. It's like running a cheese factory and not knowing what goes into making fucking cheese. These are the people running entertainment today. All they care about is artificial intelligence, CGI, and IMAX cameras. They thought that they could fool us with their high-tech cameras and CGI. We would be so bedazzled by their technology, we wouldn't notice that we've got no Jack Bauers anymore, no James Bonds anymore, no interesting character journeys, no great concepts, no great execution of these concepts. Let's read what Deadline have to say about David Ellison, Blue Sky, and Paramount preparing a bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. By the way, in other news, connected news, Netflix have said they're not interested in a merger. A merger. They didn't say anything about purchase, but they don't want to merge with Warner Brothers Discovery because they know that's a nightmare. They don't want to work with David Zaslav. So I think Netflix will bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, but they don't want a partnership. Who would want a partnership with the accident waiting to happen that is David Zaslav? So, David Ellison's Warner Brothers bid takes shape. No clear role for Zaslav. The dish. Let's have a read. Coming off a $4 billion global box office year to date, because they start off talking about Adby and DeLuca, who have been the only success story of the Zaslav era of Warner Brothers. It wasn't even his decision to bring them in. He was getting advice at first, wasn't it? So, year to date, DeLuca and Adby are clearly among WBD's crown jewels and major assets for the Ellisons, which is more than you can say for Zaslav. With the duo re-upped, it's akin to Ellison buying a house and discovering a Warhol painting hanging out back. Basically, Warner Brothers Discovery a joke, Zaslav's a joke. We all fucking know that. And nobody's hiding it anymore. What they're saying is that David David Ellison, Blue Sky and Paramount don't want to go anywhere near David Zaslav. They don't want him involved. But, and there's no coincidence that Adby and DeLuca have just had an extended contract and it's time. We don't know how long that contract is. They won't tell us that. But I think what Ellison and Paramount and Blue Sky have said to Zaslav, they come with the package. Or we're not interested. Because Adby and DeLuca are geniuses. In fact, the biggest mistake, because at first, Adby and DeLuca were in charge of DC Studios until Gunn came in. Big fucking mistake, because if they were in charge now, we'd be getting some good shit. Anyway, we continue. Sources at both studios tell us that while no formal offer has yet been sent from Blue Sky to WBD, that Jeff Shell and Jerry Cardinal advised Ellison is just biding his time before making a bid for another iconic studio. However, it is unclear how far informal pitches and discussions between the parties have evolved. So this is happening. Don't forget, I broke the news before anyone else about this weeks ago. Then there was rumblings that it wasn't actually going to happen, which I heard as well. But now, he's serious. David Ellison is serious, but he wants nothing to do with Zaslav, and he certainly wants nothing to do with Gunn, which is interesting. I celebrate that. But why are you giving Jessica Biel a first look fucking deal? Doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, I digress. To that specifically, Ellison and his father, Larry Ellison, the second richest man in the world, depending on what time of the day it is, don't want to see a repeat of the prolonged, painful saga that marks Skydance's $8 billion acquisition of Paramount. Nor do they want to step on landmines or find any surprises at the debt-heavy WBD. And they don't currently see a significant role for Zaslav in the newly merged mega studio. Wow. Yeah, because why would you? He's got no experience in the industry. He's not an asset. They want Adby and DeLuca because they're assets. To be honest, studio sources tell us it would be very unlikely that Zaz would want to hang around once the sale is complete. And tech guys like Larry Ellison want a clean sheet with no surprises. Yeah, tech giants. That's all. These are the people who are running entertainment. This is why they're obsessed with artificial intelligence, a technology invented to replace us, to replace human beings, right? And Jason Blum is telling us this is the new normal. You've got to accept it. You audience members don't care if something's made with AI. We fucking do, and we reject you and AI. So, at most right now, Zaz would be looking at an offer of a board seat and perhaps a strategic advisor. That's like fucking having Roseanne Barr as a strategic advisor of the fucking Titanic. Never gonna happen. You may get a seat on the board, son, but that's it. So where are we? Yeah. Insiders inform us. When contacted by Deadline today, Rex for Paramount and WBD had no comment for any potential deal and more. That means it's happening. If there's no comment, there's something going on. Word around town is that Zaslav, enjoying his role at the head of WBD, was jockeying for some sort of grand poobah type of position in any Warner Brothers acquisition. Hence the reason why he's been trying to drum up bidders for the conglomerate. Other than Paramount. Basically, right, let me tell you this. Netflix have just said they don't want a merger, right? No one. If Zaslav really thinks he's going to continue running WBD, he's fucking dreaming. However, analysts like Richard Greenfield of Lightshield Partners have their doubts as to whether Netflix wants to be in the running at all. The streamer believes Rich Greenfield is simply not going to spend 75 to 100 billion to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. That number comes from Warner Brothers Discovery's current market cap of $47 billion with $30 billion of net debt. Netflix has no interest in owning linear cable networks. It could wait until the studio and HBO Max split, but HBO is still tied to the legacy multi-channel ecosystem. He pointed out in a note this week, with an increasing array of wholesale distribution relationships spanning Amazon Prime, Charter, and DirecTV, he pointed out in a note this week, why would Netflix want to deal with all those entanglements? Right, it's a huge company. Now, they are about to split HBO Max from the studio, which is interesting. I believe this has been done because HBO would become an independent entity, right? Now, who would own that? I suppose WBD would. I suppose I think it would be a discovery company. I don't get it myself, but it looks like HBO are looking to go independent from WBD, and that will be a great thing as well. We'll see what happens there. Also, the content driving Netflix subscriber growth has been original IP, and Netflix is having no trouble at all licensing catalog content from Hollywood studios. But they are having a problem with making great television. Netflix are the destroyers of broadcast TV and cinema, just so they could tell us you can skip beginning and end credits. I miss big fucking credits. I like to read who made stuff. They are the murderers of great entertainment. Never forget what they did to the things that we loved. WBD is splitting, and maybe it's in the Ellison's best interest to snap it up now in full, in cash, before linear networks and film and TV productions go their separate ways, risking a bidding war around the studio and streamer that pushes up the price, meaning he could get it cheaper if he was willing to swallow the company whole. Cable and all at second glance. However, the number of potential suitors is limited after all. For part of Warner Brothers Discovery, Comcast, a frequent target of Trump's IRE, whatever that is, would face tough regulatory scrutiny. The deal might be a big one for Sony, although it could team up again with a PE partner like Apollo, Apple, Amazon, really. Well, to me, it looks like Paramount are going to swallow Warner Brothers Discovery whole. And the fact that Oracle co-founder and chair Larry Ellison was recently the wealthiest human on the planet could deter most bidders, which is what they want. The rationale for Peace Sky to move is as much political as business, meaning standard analytical frameworks are probably less useful than normal, wrote T.D. Cohen's Doug Crost in a note last month. The probability of an Ellison bidding is high, of his getting accepted is high, as is the probability of getting the deal past government watchdogs. We tend to think there is a bigger game going on here, given the overly dynamic domestic and world geopolitical situation and the ongoing unprecedented AI investment. Larry Ellison looks soon to be an overlord of TikTok. Yeah, he's about to buy that as well. Yeah, this is a tech giant. So this is buying WBD would be great for him, considering the applications of AI. I hate AI, but it's a reality. There's money to be made, and people, not us, are embracing it. That's a shame. This is where we are. I am not happy. This is not good for humanity. But anyway, a question mark is stock price. The shadow bid has already inflated WBD shares. They kind of almost doubled. We don't love the risk reward here, given the potential for WBD shares to quickly round trip to $11 to $12 if the bid doesn't materialize, said Krutz. It's a classic case of the Tinseltown scheduling. David Ellison is set to be on stage at Bloomberg conference in Hollywood Thursday morning, right before Michael DeLuca and Pam Happy. Can you say sidebar? So, yes, some very, very interesting developments there. And I know you probably didn't understand all of that. So let me translate it for you. The Ellisons, Blue Sky and Paramount are going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. I broke the story, right? This is a guy who does his videos in one take. I haven't paused, I haven't edited this video, right? Oh my God, I'm running out of breath here. But do you know what I mean? But I broke the story. Then we all heard that Paramount weren't going to bid. And I think that was kind of tactics from the Ellisons, if you ask me. But yes, this is what's going to happen. Paramount Blue Sky will swallow Warner Brothers Discovery whole. Zaslav will have some position on the board. He will not be involved with the running of that company, and James Gunn will be out. That's it. Now they're going to try. Look, they've got their own ideas. You can see what they look. You can see what Paramount are doing, right? Whether you like them or not. Now I've seen some people like Nerdronic saying this is bad for entertainment. This is bad for the industry. I can see how. I can see, like, they're a tech giant. Yeah, listen, they're a tech giant. It's going to help them, push forward artificial intelligence. But forget all of that bullshit, right? As I said on the top of the show, there's no company that's going to give us what we want. Great DC. What I can hope from the Ellisons, Blue Sky and Paramount, that we get better DC than James Gunn and Peter Safran and David Zaslav have given us.